Postilion, Professor Emeritus from Columbia College, where I taught full-time for 25 years and part-time before that. I am also a practicing artist and a writer, critic for many different publications for over 20 years. And I'm here with my longtime friend, Fern Shaffer, and we're here to talk about her new project. Fern, we've known each other a long time. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, sure. I was living in the suburbs and had children, 3 children at the time, and the youngest one was going back to school, was starting school, and I thought I could maybe go back to painting. I haven't painted in maybe 8 or 10 years, raising a family, and so I got a flyer from the Evanston Art Center, and I was reading it, and they had a painting class, and you were listed as a teacher. And the class was an unusual group of women. Most of us were all educated in art and had come home and had children or had to have jobs, and we met one day a week for, how many years did we come to the class? 8, 9, 10 years?
Several.
Yes.
We were pretty much the same age.
Yes.
And with the educational background, some of them even had, I think, master's degrees.
Yes, yes.
And you also got to be friends with a lot of these people that you're still friends with even today.
Yes, these are my friends.
Yeah.
Was it 40 years? It's at least 40 years. Maybe.
Probably, yeah.
It could be 50. It goes by so quickly.
72. Let's talk about the project. What's the title of the project?
The project is 1,000 Moons. And how that came about was that my cousin Sheldon, who is a scientist and interested in classical music, we have a lot of things in common, and he meditated for years. It must be 50, 60 years already that he's meditated, and he's older than I am, but he would go to India to study with his guru. And he came back from one of his trips from India. We were talking about, and we would meditate together. We'd meditate and go to dinner. So it was really a good relationship. And he told him about his guru, who was going to be 80, but he couldn't decide if he wanted to study to celebrate his 80th birthday or 1,000 full moons. 1,000 full moons is equivalent to 80 years and 10 months. He couldn't decide which is the more important element. And so I think he decided on 1,000 full moons. And when Sheldon told me that, I was like thinking, that thought stays in my mind. I can't let it go. And I figured, oh, Sheldon's going to be 80 soon. I will make him 1,000 moons for his birthday. So I got paper, and I happened to have been recovering from thyroid surgery, and I had to be in isolation, so it was a perfect time for me to work without interruptions. So I got paper, and I figured out 50 moons on a sheet of paper times 22 would be 1,000, and I painted it. And then I couldn't decide how to present it, so I just gave Sheldon the box. I got an archival box, put it in there, and said, "Happy birthday." It's now 4 years later, and we've finally decided what to do with it. I've hired Audrey Neffenfigger. I called her, because she's a bookmaker, and asked her if she could recommend a bookmaker. And Shell and I met at this woman's studio, and we picked out the papers, and she's forming it into a book. And I think it might be done this week. I mean, it's just, I can't wait
So
to
that
see
isn't
it.
even completed.
It's not even complete, because I added an element to it later. We just didn't know. And then they enjoyed the box so much, they wanted it to be out more accessible to people.
Right.
So we're still working on that. But I thought, at the age that I was when I started this program, this project at 77, that it was a very important element to show the world that a woman at this age can tackle such a huge project. And it was huge.
And it is huge, yes.
It is huge and expensive. I had to buy 1,000 canvases, and I wanted them to be in black. I mean, every decision took time to make the decision. What size are the canvases? Are they going to be round? Are they going to be square? And how do I want them done?
Is there any time when it doesn't work. And you have to, what do you do? Do you scrap it?
Ideas don't always come forth fully dressed and presented.
Mhm.
You have to sometimes work them through. Example would be, I wanted to paint a tree. So the tree was gonna be made of a ginkgo tree of thousands of leaves. So I started painting the leaves very small, but they were square. And the leaves are not square, and then how am I gonna hang them from the ceiling? Then it'd be masses of thread. It just didn't work. So then I kept exploring this and moving it to a little larger. They were really 3 by 4 inches, and I ended up by 8 by 10 inches. And I decided that it would be a grid. So I made 100 of those and made a grid, and it was gorgeous.
So you worked it out that way.
I worked it out.
I'm also thinking about like maybe an individual piece, like you didn't like the palette, let's
Right.
say, but you're working with materials that are forgivable, right?
Yes.
You could go back in with a different color, right?
Yes, right.
In most cases.
Yes. With the moons, in the beginning were plain circles, just round circles. But then as the more I painted, the better I got at it, and then the moons became more detailed.
Uh-huh.
And so I want to probably do an extra 100 paintings.
Yes, that was important.
I was going to do, once I got to the 1,000 mark, I was going to do another 100, because I think the first 100 might not be as good as the last 100, so I want to even it out. So I will circulate, and I can mix them in.
Sure.
The moons are all different sizes, and there are many colors. The moon is just not yellow every day. It's got 28 official colors. So I have all of that, and doing research on it. The scale is what's inert in myself, and then I have a design quality that I figure what the ratio is, the circle to the amount of space around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a visual hit. If it feels right, then that's right. So I do a lot of adjusting, and not everything is the same. I set the house up like a factory, in a sense. Each room I do something different in.
That's what I found really fascinating. Initially,
Yeah.
All the different logistics involved in this project, where you have the storage unit, you've
Right.
got boxes of things that are going to be used later,
Right.
then you've got your little studio area.
Right. And every process was another series of questions to be found. I tried different kinds of material to wrap the paintings in, and then I realized glassine is really the best, and I said, ooh, that means wrapping 1,000 paintings besides painting them. Unwrapping them, painting them, wrapping them, and I put them in storage bins. So when I get through, I will have 50 storage bins so the show can travel.
And initially, though, you really didn't know where this would be exhibited.
I still don't know.
Not for sure,
Right.
but did you think about that at all?
Yes, and if I tell you, it sounds so grandiose. I really wanted it at the Art Institute. I really want to show it at the MCA.
Or the MCA?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the cultural center?
The cultural center might be a place
Maybe,
too.
maybe.
Yeah. I have one contact. I sent out 2 proposals and they were turned down. One is already in negotiation, so I don't know, because I'm in discussion with the Ukrainian Institute of Modern Art as a possibility of an exhibition.
Right.
They're interested, but I don't have a contract or a date. And I figure it should be in 23 or 24 would be fine. And I will have, all the work will be completed. I hired an artist to make music, out of space kind of music.
Mhm.
And he lives in Amsterdam, and he came in, Julius Tan is his name, and he came in, and we've got 15 minutes of music so far. He's going back, he went back home, and he will be back in September, and we should be finishing that. Then I want to have a panel discussion. I want to have a panel discussion of an astrologer, an astronomer, and maybe someone from a religious organization of some sort to talk about the spiritual, the scientific, and the emotional part of the moon, because it really affects all of us in many ways. And the 1,000 moons, as I think about it, all of us standing in this room are part of this 1,000 years, 1,000 moons, because we're living at the same time together. So if I'm celebrating it, so is everybody else.
Right.
It's just really a notion that makes sense, even though I'm not totally equipped to articulate all the scientific ideas behind it, but I really feel that we're in this world together, and this includes all of us.
So this really suggests how you want the viewer to react to the work.
I do.
I mean, I think
I want them to be blown away.
Mhm.
And when I talk to people, not a lot of people, just a few, I really love the idea. It really is awesome.
Just the visual impact of this is going to be extraordinary. I mean, because it's going to be wall to wall, and I think we're going to probably look at some
Samples of this.
maquettes
Yeah.
of what the installation might look like. So on just a purely aesthetic level, it will be exciting.
I'm excited about the idea all the time. It makes me smile.
And then when they get into what it's really about, the subject matter, the content, that will increase the experience of the work.
Right. Yeah, I do think so. And I'd like to have a small monograph to go with it.
Okay.
People could have the music, maybe put an insert a CD of the music and even the talk if we choose to do that. That would all be a total experience. It's the whole thing. I haven't done that kind of total immersion in a single idea. I mean, I have done other projects, you know, like say, nothing I tackle is small.
No. No, you never have. We've talked about exhibiting the project. We've talked about the logistics. Anything you're thinking about that we haven't done?
That we haven't done. It's every day I wake up with, okay, today I have to do this. And I have a schedule. I figure I work with 20 to 30 paintings at a time. And then I figure out, then I have to sit down. The hardest question is what color today? What
Yes.
color the moon's
Choosing
gonna be
the
today?
palette, right.
Choosing the palette. It's always the hardest question because I'm really a minimalist at heart.
You are.
I am,
Yeah.
you know I am. If I work with green and black for 15 years, that's the colors I used. You know, but these are multicolored and I think they'll be okay. It's just figuring out every little detail as we get closer to it. And your suggestion of going down there and bringing some of the canvases with to see how it would look on the walls.
I think we need to do
Yeah,
that.
we need to do
There-
that.
There is one curved wall that we need to see if these will work.
Corey and his wife Kathy are both artists, and they had a lovely exhibition at the Ukrainian Institute. It was really beautiful, and so that was an inspiration, seeing other people's work there.
So Fern, can we take a look at where you actually make this work?
Yes, what a good idea.
The little studio.
Or on the way out.
We're here.
Okay,
Yeah. So these are the maquettes, based on primarily the Ukrainian space. Is that right?
right, the Ukrainian space. This is to scale, so this is a 70-foot wall here, and this is, I think it's a 6-foot wall, or 7, I have to remeasure it. And I figured this is only 400 moons.
That's only 400.
Yeah, so now if you doubled it, it would be 800.
800.
And I don't think this will fit 1,000 is what I'm saying. They have another gallery identical to this one in another room. And if she would allow me to have the 70-foot wall in there, maybe it would make it. I don't know.
There's a little front space too.
Right,
that
so maybe that's only gonna be
could be
100.
used. Right, yeah. Yeah, and then, oh yeah, then this wall here that's slightly
Right.
curved. This is where the magic happens, right?
Right, this is where it happens. So I'm gonna show you how I do this. So this is where we start. Where are my scissors? Oh, here they are.
Okay.
So
And these you order from,
I found these at Michael's, and I try very hard to get in touch with the manufacturer itself. They are
well, there's
difficult.
two.
There's two in each one.
Yeah.
Then I take them to the back porch, and I splatter the paint on them.
Well, out here?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We'll do 6. These are.
I can show where we're going with this. This is what Fern is going to work on. Now you're using acrylic paint,
just-
right? Okay, which is a
And then-
water-based paint.
And these are all the colors. This is the paint. Oh, I don't even
Yeah,
have
it
to
has to
change.
be the right viscosity.
Right. Oh, this might work. It's a little
We're
thin.
going to find out.
Yes, we are. And I'm going to do this.
Now, if you get something you don't like, you know what I mean, the spatter doesn't work.
Okay, if the
Will you
spatters-
paint over it again with? You have black acrylic.
I have black acrylic. What I will do is make corrections.
Oh, okay. So you can go in and
I make corrections.
clean up a area that maybe is just not.
Too white. Or the dot is too big, it's bigger than the moon.
Right,
So
right.
it depends on how it's.
And this took a while to perfect.
Yes, it did. It really
Because
did.
I know I've done this myself in the past. And,
Yeah, it does.
But it's forgivable.
Part of it is forgivable.
So these other ones are finished now?
Yes, the ones behind in that room these are done.
Those are done.
We just have to wait for them to
There's
dry.
a couple galaxies
Right.
in there.
I wonder, I don't even know the names of them, but. You know, it didn't go this quickly in the beginning. But you have to figure I've done 800 already, so I'm getting better at this. Do you think I can get a full-time job? Okay,
At the planetarium.
yeah, then we're through. We'll just leave this
Okay?
and it dries. And we love the way we've redone this whole room.
This is what it
That's
ends up
good.
being.
Right.
It's a nice one.
If you can see, I've already drawn a circle. And only if the light is there. Here's the circle for the moon.
What did you use now to make the circle?
I use just pencil. I like,
No, I mean as a template.
the whole table is filled with
Maybe
different
something
size.
like this.
That's exactly what I'd use.
Okay.
So I would take this and take a plain canvas
Mm-hmm.
and figure out where I'm going to put the moon, and it's usually here. And I draw a line around here, like that.
Yeah.
And then I put it in a pile over there. Here, that's you, Cory. And when I get it finished, so this has 2 coats of paint on here, a light and a dark, and there's a line that's around here.
Right.
And when I get to, so I do it in stages, so all those will be painted, and then I will do this next stage, which is signing my name, which is part of it, because every canvas has to have a signature on it. So I don't care where my signature is, because I don't intend to make that the top or the bottom. You can hang it anywhere you want.
Right. It can go the other way.
Right.
Some will be vertical, some will be horizontal.
Exactly. And then I sign always the
In
back.
the back.
Do you sign the back too, Cory?
Yes. I only signed the back.
I never used to sign the front, but in this I just didn't
Well,
know.
this one I think you can because it's really not that.
It doesn't
massive.
show.
No.
Then this is this magic marker,
Yeah.
this magic eraser,
Yeah.
and I erase
Yeah.
all the pencil marks. Because in the beginning I left them on, but I see that they're a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Oh, shit.
What?
I see that there was water here, and I spilled. So it does show. So this is what I do. I have my black paint at hand and a small brush.
Oh, I see. So this is where you make your corrections, right?
Yeah, I didn't get all the way in. So I don't usually make too many corrections, but when it smears like that, I don't like to leave it.
That'll just dry.
It
flat.
dries,
Yeah.
and then maybe this is too big. You know, if I have the black paint out, then I might go through and take some of these out.
Right.
And then I let this stand and dry.
And this is still holding up on the wall.
Yeah, I'm sure that will hold up forever. Then we can go,
So it's going to be installed, we're thinking, with double stick tape on the back.
right. And then we'll take these five.
And then
go
some of
into-
these will be like this.
So they'll be pieced together.
Yeah.
And if I don't have enough space, Corey, I can do this, which I have done over here. This is lovely black paper, which I love.
Oh, yes.
Stonehenge.
Some will be on paper. Right.
Yeah, and some will just be this. So I can put it, if there's a hole in the wall, I can put the paper up and it'll cover it.
Right.
So I have all of this to spackle later.
And you were thinking that in the installation, you may have to paint the wall black.
It's a possibility if they would let us, that would make it easier. And
Unless
if-
they're tight enough to,
They should be tight enough, but if there's a problem of spacing, you slip this one underneath. This one has a moon on it, but you would
Oh, I
slip
see.
it underneath
I see.
here,
yeah,
and then you would put another painting here. And
Right.
so this creates a shadow, and it becomes more three-dimensional.
yeah,
So I like having it in different
right, different.
depths.
Depths,
Yes,
right,
love this. So now we're gonna go to the wrapping room.
yes.
This is 500 sheets of glassine. And if you want to know this room is so clean, everything's hidden in the drawers. Everything. And I use this. So I go 1, 2, 3. Oh, these are threes. 1,
So this is the glassine,
3.
which is a great separator.
It's good. What I've been doing is simple, and this is 3 pieces of tape. 3 pieces of
But
tape.
it's a process, it's a lot of work.
Everything
Yeah.
is a process. Now, this is the thought that comes to me when we undo the first show. Do I have to buy another 1,000 pieces of glassine? Because they're not going to take the patience to untape it.
Well, I think they have
You know, to undo
to.
it.
That's what we would usually insist on keeping the wrapping paper and everything and being careful with the,
Well, I can tell them that, but we'll see what happens.
yeah.
You know, if I have to, I have
They
to.
have personnel. Now, you order this from where?
Uline. This
Uline.
comes from Uline, and the tape comes from Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and the canvases came from Michael's. Okay, so
All right.
this is done,
Now, the next stage,
and then usually it's 20 or 30, but we're gonna go back in the living room. And they go in this tote. So this will hold 28, so I'll go back and finish them.
just like this, do you have to put anything on the sides or
I
anything?
lace them on top and that's it, nothing on the
That's
sides.
it, nothing on the sides?
No. And it's not heavy.
It's not too heavy. right.
No, and then I lock it up,
No.
and I write on here what's in here. 10 by 20 paintings and the date. And then I will know, the beginning one is by, this is 22, so it was 21.
Okay, how many have you done so far again?
820,
800.
not counting these yet.
Okay, 800.
And I have 40 out there, so it'll be 860 by the end of the week or something.
Okay, and then
And then-
What's out here?
So this is what, and my neighbors are very sweet. They didn't care that I used the hallway to store stuff in. And I have only, maybe I have 10 more units, totes at the storage unit. Those are all the same size down there. Those are the 10 by 20 inches.
You can see the logistics here. You know,
Yeah,
the inventory, and it's like a factory.
It is, it's a factory. It's a factory.
Very creative one.
I don't know where the time clock is. Corey, I want to thank you for doing this and being so patient with me all the years that we've been working with each other. So I really appreciate it. So,
It's been a pleasure.
you know, we went through the room that I paint in, and the room that I splatter in, and the room that I wrap in, and then the living room is where I keep the totes, and I put the wrapped paintings in there, and then as soon as I fill up 2 more totes, they go to the locker. And I go into the hallway and take more paintings out, because I'm sure my landlord would love to have the hallway back, but she's been really good about it. No one comes over here.
She doesn't need it, really.
No, she doesn't need it.
You're at the top of the stairs.
Right, I'm at the top of
Yeah.
the stairs, so it's very nice. And we're lucky it was a cool day. I didn't have to put on the loud air conditioner because you would hear that going. And
And I want to thank you, because I've learned a lot in the process again.
yeah,
You know, a lot of details that I really did not know. And it's just amazing that you've done, at this point, over 820 paintings. As I said, some artists pass away without
Right.
leaving that many works. So this is one project,
right.
and I wish you the best with it. It's got to be shown somewhere. But we also want to thank the videographer, Ray
Yes.
Gonzalez, who
Yay.
has been terrific, and we
Yeah.
couldn't have done it without him.
No, we couldn't have raised. So I'm very blessed that he came into my life. I really am. He came to work with me at my job, and he's fabulous at whatever he does. Recognize greatness when we see it. Thank you.